I auditioned for this show, Stand Up for the Week.
Andrew Lawrence!
It was a fairly hostile environment. I wasn't wanted there. And I was touring around, but I was still starting to do this political stuff. And I was watching these panel shows, which I'd done one or two of them because, I was offered them. I thought, I'll give it a try. And I wrote this this Facebook post about how I thought that this kind of pervasive politics in panel shows like Mock the Week was very left-wing and very anti this idea of leaving the European Union. There was all talk of a referendum, but it hadn't happened.
Prime Minister David Cameron said in a speech in London that it's time we're asked to make a decision on Europe.
I talked about immigration in that post and how it had been very damaging and that it caused incredible amount of damage to have these huge numbers of people arriving in a very short period of time.
What the Daily Mail's headline was.
And for people who might not remember, Mock the Week was very kind of synonymous with a sort of Daily Mail bashing, easy punchline. People who like UKIP, which was Nigel Farage's party, are just racist idiots. This is very much kind of pre-Brexit, and that was what you were inveighing against. This sort of laziness that was creeping into.
Well, I felt that it was out of touch with public opinion. I felt like it was detached from the reality of people's lives, and that at the time that was sort of an unthinkable thing to say, whereas now of course it's sort of mainstream. You can write a list of all the political opinions you're allowed to express, and if you say that on stage within a certain bubble, that's going to both help you in your career and maybe make up for any deficiencies where you might be lacking in terms of jokes.
What are you, actually? Are you pansexual? Are you non-binary? Are you gender fluid?
Not only am I none of those things, I don't believe anyone else is either.
Which sort of brings us on to the sort of second dimension of that Facebook post, I suppose, which was taking up this issue, which was quite controversial at the time, which was BBC and other broadcasters quite explicitly having quotas for women, ethnic minorities, etc.
Yeah.
That also really got you in the shit, almost as much as the UKIP stuff. It seems like your point was not that ethnic minority comedians or women comedians that they're incapable of doing the job. It's just that because of these quotas and so on, people were being given opportunities they weren't ready for. Merit was going out the window.
If I do have a support act, I always hire a female support act. Not because of equality, just because I feel like it gives the audience a chance to go to the bar. This whole thing, they've labelled DEI, diversity and inclusivity, incredibly divisive. What could be more racist and sexist than discriminating against people based on their gender and ethnicity when handing out opportunities? Now, the people who are engaged in that put up various arguments about, oh no, the sexism and racism doesn't count if it's in this direction, but it's a fairly weak argument, isn't it? And of course, if you're one of those people who's benefiting from that, you're not going to say, well, actually, I haven't earned this. You're going to say, yes, please, yeah.
So you post this. There's a comedy website in the UK called Chortle who latch onto it in a big way. It then gets picked up by the Nationals, the independent newspaper.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Suddenly these venues, oh no, we can't book him because, he doesn't reflect our values. It was all right last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. You were perfectly happy to make money from me. I think the TV side of things that was going to be a closed shop forever because there was a very specific political culture there that once you've transgressed, that's it, you're done. Politically, if you've transgressed in other ways, it seems like there's always a way back. Go all the woke places doing gigs. I've been to all the woke places doing gigs. I've been more places I wasn't welcome than Russell Brand's penis. The thing most people did was shut up and delete their Twitter, go through all their old tweets and delete it all and come out and say all those sorts of jokes I did 3 or 4 years ago, I'd never do those jokes now. No, you wouldn't, because you're about that mainstream attention, and I understand that.
See a YouTube plaque up on the wall and...
Oh yeah, just difficult to know what to do with those things, isn't it?
Yeah. It's either here or the downstairs loo, isn't it? That's one of the two.
I like to put it just above the bins. Big sort of TV comics earner, like really diabolical amounts of money from touring. It's great. It's lovely to have that money, but it's a gilded cage, because I know some of them that's not the comedy they started doing. And it's not really what they want to be doing. There's a lot of very good, very talented comedians doing really good work online, and it's probably where the future lies for comics, isn't it?
Yeah. You were already saying there that, you know, you'd suffered this initial cancellation, you had been blacklisted, the TV work is sort of out of the equation now, but you're starting to build things back up.
I'd come in too early, and then people caught up a few months before COVID. That was a hate speech tour, I'd called it, and it was selling incredible numbers, far better than I'd ever sold before. And I was getting really excited, thinking that, oh, wow, this is blowing up. This is obviously hitting a nerve and resonating with people.
Some of you not sure about that one, that's fine. Some of you looking at me like I'm Sam Smith at a children's birthday party.
Obviously the pandemic comes into play, which completely shutters the whole comedy industry, but I understand that's when yourself and many others start to get online and start to make videos and so on.
Listen, I'm really looking forward to this second lockdown that it looks like we're about to have. The first lockdown was so valuable. Personally, it gave me the space I needed to grow spiritually.
When COVID started, I started filming videos, and they started doing quite well.
Hello, I'm Jim. I'm John. I'm Jeff. I'm jibbity bibbity boo ba clacka choo choo. No, that's not it, goddammit. Come on, man. I'm Joe. I'm Joe Dies Soon.
I managed to people support me on Patreon.
Many of you will be aware of reports of a largely peaceful mass stabbing in Forbury Gardens, Reading yesterday. The suspect is a Libyan gentleman who peacefully stabbed a number of white people in what was in no way a racially motivated act.
I think the insanity of COVID, the insanity of identity politics, that's all subsided. That's gone away for now. The wheels turned. But there are people around you that it affects, and that's where you start having to tread carefully, and that's how it can really get you. A Sun journalist, I don't know how they got the address, but they turned up on my mum's doorstep and knocked on her door, asked if they can talk to my dad. And my dad had died 3 weeks or 4 weeks previously. That's where it gets you.
My mum's worried about me. She says, all this stuff you post online, Andrew, I'm worried about you getting in trouble with the police. Can't you spend your time on something that's less likely to get you arrested, like shoplifting?